never been exposed like this before. I'm good at shutting you out. I've always had a way of keeping closed. Beating, hiding, I've been calling out your name from the darkness, thinking it's too late. If you'll find it, I've been too much on your plate. I'll keep hiding, calling out your name, calling out your name, calling out your name, calling out your name, calling out your name. Beating, hiding, I've been calling out your name from the darkness, thinking it's too late. If you'll find it, I've been too much on your plate. I'll keep hiding, calling out your name, calling out your name.
Welcome to the LXC.
Neon lights flash, glow in the virtual battlefield. Sentinel, lead, let's go. Platinum dreams revealed. Climbing high, we'll soar on the rift of endless night. Strategies we explore through the endless fight. Sentinel lead.
Going to get instantly Dev, but Wukong's going to walk out. Ignite drops on him. They're going to try to block for the Wukong. Wukong's going to clone, trying to get that little bit of damage. No, but then Anivia will get picked off there. Mordekaiser's hand will grab it, the bird, and come back. They're going to pick up 2 members of TD Plus. Wukong trying to go in and try to get anything they can, but they won't. This is going to be looking like...
Yeah, it does look like we're going to be going to that game 3, as I said.
Yep. They're going to pick up Rakan. They're going to try to full send. TD Plus Noah's over. And Nexus is going to be dropped. Anyways, TD looking to start a fight. They're so confident right now. Diana ulti going to connect onto Poodle. They're going to keep going. Poodle's going to fall. Twitch on the back line going rat-tat-tat. Their team is walking out. TD Plus is going in. They're going to pick up 3 people from Chill Guys. Only left one stage at front of the Vanguard. Will he live? Will he try to pick up somebody? He won't. Person who's going to die was Ribbon, but Ribbon...
Under the arena's blaze, every champion finds their place. In this game we chase, winning with grace. Victory, our legacy. Victory, our legacy. Our legacy. Our legacy. Oh, 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 oh.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Week 6 of the Sentinel League. Tonight's matchup comes to us from Sector 2. It's the only undefeated squad left in all of Sentinel is about to face off against one of the 2 teams currently tied for second in the sector. It's Outlaws Obsidian versus Braum Lives Matter. OTL Obsidian are yet to drop a single game this season. They are 10-0, although dropping point Hellfire did make them sweat a bit last week. The Outlaws took almost 45 minutes to close out game number 2. Braum Lives Matter, on the other hand, also picked up a victory in week number 5. They secured a 2-1 win over New Origin Veracity, with BLM mid laner Kama being the standout performer in the team's wins. My name is Crewman44. Joining me on the caster desk tonight, we have the legendary Launches for the call. Launches, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I can't wait for this game to come out, right? We saw last week where Phoenix was still undefeated, I was pretty sure, and now we have another undefeated team trying to hold on to the spot as the only undefeated team in the Sentinels League, right? So I do think that Obsidian will not go fully undefeated. I think that there is a possibility that they are going to be dropping games to Problems Lives Matters. They've been doing they have the momentum here, but again, it's going to be interesting to see how things are going to play out.
Absolutely. It will be interesting indeed, Launches. I do think I briefly called out the mid laner for Braum Lives Matter, Kama. I felt like played really well last week. And one thing that I do feel like we need to touch on right at the top of the show here, Launch, is the fact that Outlaws Obsidian do have a new mid laner that is debuting on the roster this week. So we'll have to see. We don't really know what to expect from this new mid, right? As the name is the Lord JK OTL this game. But that'll be interesting to see. I mean, if anything, that seems like a potential avenue for BLM. At the very least, we know that the Lord is not going to be as practiced with the team, just yet.
Hmm. But we are going to see here a Nocturne first pick after we have bands of Udyr, Galio, Tarek on the side of Obsidian, and Braum Life Matters has Seraphine, Amumu, and Jarvan band over on their side, right? But we do see that Nocturne pick really want to have that, that ultimate come in, not be able to see, might set up like an Oriana or a Nico could come out. But as their name suggests, we do have Brahms on Brahms Life Matters.
It just makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, it's I feel like it's a reasonably good pick into the Nocturne as well. If the Braum is in the right place to defend the carries, then Nocturne is going to have a really difficult time successfully finding those dive angles.
Hmm.
Xin Zhao coming through as well, so that's a jungler that pairs pretty well with the Braum, I think, and should be able to scrap with the Nocturne in the early game.
Yeah, having Wind Becomes Lightning and be able to jump in and get those pretty quick 3 hits and stack the Braum passive is just going to be really strong here. But it's going to be interesting to see what Obsidian wants to bring out, right? They have that Nocturne. What are they going to pair with it to have a good, blind ult and stuff like that? But it looks like they're just going to bring out the Lucian. Pretty good mid game, right? Really want to get that snowball pretty early here. Maybe get lane prio, let them push, and then get a good gank in level 6 right for the Nocturne, or if they want earlier, level 3. But the question is,
Yeah,
who are they going to pair with that Lucian? Are they going to bring out the Nami, right? We go see the
classic.
Lucian
Yeah.
Nami Larry Lulu, but no, it actually just looks like they're going to bring out the Milio.
That's right. Yeah, Emilio, another pretty strong pairing with the Lucian. Being able to enhance the auto attack range when Lucian has the double up passive ready to go can definitely be really powerful. So don't mind that pick one bit. And now we'll have to see what BLM want to go for. So likely going to be an 80 carry here on 3, right, for Braum Lives. What would they like into the Lucian? Interesting.
I think Zaya makes sense because you have her W being able to have your higher auto attack, right? Again, another one of trying to stack Brahm's passive quicker. Now the thing is, I don't think that their vein is as good, right? I'm looking at Drakenrich's thing. It's got one single game on Zaya, but really has not been able to pull it out. So I think they're gonna be a little rusty on this Zaya pick here.
Well, we'll see. It's definitely a very defensive draft so far for BLM, as my main takeaway. Braum, Zaya, Xin Zhao, of course, can play aggressively, but they don't really have anybody that's going to be able to follow up on that Xin Zhao diving forward just yet. So
Hmm.
we'll see if BLM are going to draft themselves, some more aggressive options, perhaps in the mid lane, to try to capitalize on that early skirmishing power of the Xin Zhao here in the second phase. But the Outlaws looks like they are going to be targeting the mid lane with their second phase of bans here. The Vagar, being removed so far. And then for the side of BLM, of course, they've banned away the Mordekaiser and the Malzahar.
The Mel is still open. I've always been a Mel supporter, as in I think she's really strong, right? Has enough poke, has the yeah, execute and everything. So as long as you have something to set her up, she's just so strong. So I mean, if you have or the right team comp, she will roll over everyone, right? So I think that Mel is open. I'm surprised that Mel has gotten this far, and but I don't know. I don't know how heavy the Sentinels League is into Mel, because I think if you look at Crusaders, right, they're about 50-50. Half the teams love Mel, will try to pick her every time, and the other half of the team says we think Mel's trash, and we're not even gonna ban it, right? So, but we are going to see a mispick.
Oh, we'll have to keep you guys updated as we take a look in the client chat to see if they're going to update us on a pick here. But yeah, it seems like the draft will may have crashed, so we'll
Yeah,
keep you updated on that. But
I
yeah, the
mean,
Mel is an interesting one. I feel like she is a very situational pick. She can be really strong in some scenarios, but definitely some weaknesses as well. It feels like when you draft Mel into compositions where you're not getting a lot of value out of the reflect, then the champion can sometimes struggle. It doesn't really have any mobility in the kit. Shockingly, right for a champion released in 2025, actually zero dashes for Mel. So
it's,
that is
it's because her mom took them all.
true, very true.
But I mean, for for that mid lane draft, right? Who they could pick, maybe aggressive. I was looking at that Ari, right? Have being able to have that
Mm.
charm ultimate, have that kind of come out with that charm, right? You can get that Braum ultimate on top. You can get that Shinzao hit, get the Shinzao wind becomes lightning jump in and everything. So I think that Ari can be a really good pick here. I mean, you could try an AD assassin. No, actually, no, you can't because
Yeah.
you already have a AD jungler. So actually, you're gonna really want that or AP mid laner. I mean, you can pick something like the Oriana, take it away from that Oriana Nocturne combo that comes
Yeah,
out.
wouldn't mind the Oriana.
It's
Last week, Kama played, I mentioned he played pretty well last week against NO Veracity. It was Lux in game number one, and it was Silas in game number three. He was 9-2-5 on the Silas. So I don't know if we've got like amazing ults here to steal. Not really. Like a Nocturne, maybe you could use a Silas, but seems like maybe it would be a bit premature for a Silas lock in here. But
Yeah,
I
I think
quite
that
like actually
really
the
need that.
Oriana idea.
Yeah, they really have to push it to four, unless they are going to keep it to five. Try to see what they pick. Try to don't give top laner the satisfaction of blind picking, right? Getting that winning matchup. So they are that kind of like throws top lane a little bit. Um, Now I bring it back to the point of Obsidian having a new mid laner. I will say he is on a 5 game loss streak in rank, so he definitely is not
Mm.
feeling the best right now in coming in today. So he's gonna have a little vengeance, wanting to get that get the red into the blue.
Maybe he is just getting all the losses out of the way in solo queue, right? So that now he's
Hmm.
prepared to get in the wins for the competitive play. But restarting the draft now, guys. Sorry about the technical issues. Sorry for the delay here. But it is, of course, the teams have been instructed to lock in and ban the exact same champions until we catch back up to where we were, which is, of course, waiting for that R4 lock in for the side of BLM.
Now again, looking back, we also have a Talia they could pick. Problems Levada could bring out that Talia, so
Yeah.
is a possibility. Don't I'd have to look at Kama's. Wait, we also have. Let's see.
I
I
feel
don't
like
think
you've got a
Zoe's gonna
lot
be as
of.
Zoe's not gonna really help though. Uh, I think the same as Zerath isn't gonna be the best, right? It's a poke champion, but you have Zinzao, and I think that with Zinzao you need something else that can support him when going in.
Okay, we have our
Yep.
R4 lock, and it is the blind top laner for Braum Lives for the side of Tiny Fists. Going to be playing the scaling front line. So, still, I mean, the Ornn at least does offer you some pretty consistent engage, right? And like I just said, is some great front line as well for the Zaya. So I feel like it's starting to come together for BLM. But that mid pick is really, I think, what we're most curious about as
Yeah, I
the
will say
set.
though, the set's pretty
Go ahead.
good, but it's a bouncy castle on BLM, right? You have the knock up from the Braum, knock up for the Zinzao, knock up from the Ornn. If it hits onto the solution and he can't dodge, there's nothing they can do. But ooh, and a Nivea mid pick. are seeing we
It's
do
fun.
see Nivea kind of coming back in the meta, right? Especially in pro play. We saw Caps play it 2 days, either yesterday or 2 days ago against KC to make it into the finals. It's really it's kind of coming back. I guess the wall helps a lot, right? Blocks off regions so that uh, Zaya Ornn can't get over. But we are just
That's
gonna
right.
see that Lux mid lane pick here.
Yeah, it was a pretty good Lux game in game number one for Kama last week. That was, let's see, I have those stats here as well. 6, 2, and 5 on the Lux in that game. So pretty solid performance. I was going to mention launches the fact that we've also seen a little bit of the Anivia top pop up in the LCK. I know they were playing that a little bit. And set mid, of course, can also be a thing as well, but not expecting that necessarily. Just wanted to throw that out there as, a possible wrinkle that they could go for. But I feel like the Anivia into the Lux is definitely the matchup that you want, and Set feels like a pretty good answer into the Ornn, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that would probably make more sense.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see. The biggest thing is, I mean, you can get a jump scare from that set, but there's not much that I wouldn't say there's as much of a setup, right, with that Nocturne. I mean, you can have the Nivea wall or like kind of the set jump scare pool, but it's not going to be that oppressive, right, as compared to, the Nico Pop Blossom, the Oriana Shockwave, right? So I think this Nocturne's really going to have is going to be really cut out, and you're going to see if he can capitalize, be able to jump in, get those picks onto the Zaya, onto the Lux, right? Try not to get stunned, of course, and get one tapped by the laser beam of Lux. So
Yeah, definitely. It does feel like the side of the Outlaws are quite light on engage, right? It's really just the Nocturne, pretty much, that you have to actually start out these fights. You can like try and catch people with the Anivia wall with the Q, but can be pretty difficult to really set that one up. So in that sense, I feel like Braum Lives Matter seem to have the easier to execute composition in my mind.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these teams are going to do. Right? Will Obsidian be able to keep that undefeated streak, or will Braum Live Matter, come in and say no, we're gonna break it, and see maybe if they can even take the series as well, making it so there are no more undefeated teams left. Now the thing is, I mean, Braum Live Matter does have a buff. They have Braum, so
That's true. They have their namesake champ. That does have to be a little bit of an advantage for them. What do we think about that bot lane matchup? Obviously Lucian Melio feels like you can play pretty aggressively into Zaya Braum, but might be difficult to actually issue some more lasting punishment there. I feel like Braum Zaya can just play that lane out really really safely and then be
hmm
strong for the team fights in the mid game. So do you expect Lucian Melio to get any kind of meaningful advantages down there, or?
I mean, it really depends how they play it. I think Lucian will have to go cleanse this game, right? You're really scared of that
Mm.
the passive. You're really scared about the Zaya pullback, right? So without the cleanse, I think Lucian dies pretty quickly, even with the dash, right? Having to try to dash out of everything. But I think that if Brahms Life Matter can kind of play safely, don't give over Lucian the kills, try to at least keep up mostly in farm. I think that Lucian will kind of fall off later in the game. I definitely think that Obsidian definitely has that mid game comp, right? Having the Nocturne, having the Lucian, right? So it's really going to be a battle for time for Obsidian. If they can't get that early advantage, I think they're definitely going to lose out in the end game.
Yeah, I feel similarly. They do at least have the Anivia is going to scale quite well, right? And Anivia is pretty notorious for being one of those champions that can just stall games out really effectively with the wave clear that she does have. But I agree. I feel like if the Outlaws don't get that advantage, it's going to be really tough to really be able to pilot this comp effectively. Like you need to be able to aggressively take space and look to punish people who are mispositioning. If you're just not strong enough, you don't have the gold, if you don't have the items to do that, then the comp doesn't really do too much of anything for the side of OTL. So it'll be
hmm
interesting to see. Do you have a prediction for this first game? Which draft are you leaning towards launches?
Based on draft, I think that I'm gonna have to go to Brahms Life Matter. I mean, they have the Braum. I think they have pretty good engage. The bouncy house is gonna be really annoying for OTL, but I think that in the end, I do think that Obsidian is going to take this. I think that I feel like they are going to have that early advantage. BLM's going to walk up too far in a certain brush, or they're gonna try to position around Drake a little too often. This Nocturne is just going to be able to jump in. Set's going to be able to delete them. Anivia just blocks off their escape routes, right? So I definitely think that while I like BLM's draft more, I feel like Obsidian can take this win.
Yeah, BLM definitely a pretty strong draft. Kama looked good on the Lux last week, but the Outlaws Obsidian, they haven't lost a game yet so far this season, and that is for a reason. We'll see if they're going to be able to pick up their 11th win right after this short break. Hello, LXC fans, and welcome onto the Rift for our first game of the night. Sorry about the little bit of an extra delay there. We had some technical difficulties. Riot Games, you guys know how it goes. But here we are. We do, of course, have Outlaws Obsidian on the blue side, Braum Lives Matter on the red, and thankfully we do still have 0 kills on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how these go. I mean, we do have Lucian here pushing up. Bot lane's knowing that, hey, we have the advantage. BLM's like, yeah, we know you do. We're gonna back up. You're Lucian. You can destroy us level 2, level 3. So not gonna be too interesting. But this top lane, I mean, that's already a 10 CS lead. That's not gonna be feeling good for this Orange.
Oh, the wave is coming in for Tiny Fist, so he's going to be able to close that differential at least a little bit. We do have our junglers clearing towards opposite sides. It is Latex Monkey Nuts, as we're going to try to avoid saying that full name as much as possible. He's clearing up towards the top side. And we do have Stealthy pathing down towards his Zaya Braum lane.
Yeah, no, there is the ward there in that tri-brush, so they're not going to be able to jump the... Stealthy's not going to be able to jump in too easily. Oh, little hits there. Ooh. A little bit, but it's Orin. He'll heal it up. Not going to be too bad.
Yeah, just going to have to take a little bit of a beating from the set early on. That's obviously, Aspect of Noxus had the option to counterpick into the Ornn, so is going to be able to make the most of it here. It's at least a little bit of a trade back coming out from Tiny Fist. He's not so helpless in the matchup that he can't scrap at all with the set.
I mean, actually has more health now at this point. Set has popped the potion though, so it's gonna get some health back, even it out. Actually,
So
Stealthy.
yeah, we've
invaded.
traded crabs, and now Latex wanted to come down towards this bottom side of the map to see if he could get a little bit more, or maybe just here for the Raptor respawn is really what the Nocturne was hunting for, and is going to be able to claim those Raptors. Didn't have the most mid-prio, but Lord JK was able to move over enough just to make sure that the Nocturne was going to be able to secure that Raptor respawn. Very important for Nocturne, right? To keep that farm up, you need to be getting towards that level 6 mark as quickly as possible. So honestly, some pretty nice pathing from Latex. As Aspect doing some proxying up here in the top lane. The Haymaker not connecting onto Tiny Fists. And both top laners extremely low. Here comes Stealthy, is making a move towards that side. That's going to be the flash for Aspect of Noxus. Is not sure why a spectator camera didn't want to show us that, but... Aspect of Noxus will survive, has to burn the flash, and it was the flash off of Stealthy as well, so a trade of sums there.
Yeah, I definitely think that's gonna benefit the. It's gonna benefit Set more, right? I mean, Set can ult, but it's not too bad. But then having Stealthy without that ultimate, especially as soon as he hits level 6, not being able to jump in really quickly, jump onto this Lucian or anything, definitely gonna be a little painful. Oh.
Yeah, ooh, that's a lot of damage going down onto Lord JK in the mid lane. The Anivia does still have passive, of course, but that would definitely suck to have it procced in the 1v1 like this. Ooh, the sidestep on the Lucent Singularity. The auto attack not quite enough with the potion ticking. And Lord JK will walk that one off. Holding onto the flash there. Those are some big balls on the Lord.
Yeah, I think he was trying to predict if Kama was going to flash, right? Try to get that out. But, I mean, Lux has ult now. If JK is on vision, that could be really detrimental, but... Ooh.
Kama not going to find it. Doesn't see the angle. Drakenrich also going down extremely low in this bot lane as the Lucian Melio starting to dish out some punishment.
Ooh, does not stop the back there, so they're going to just kind of get back, get some free farm here. But, I mean... Looks like they're going to be positioning for for the grubs here.
Yeah.
They have pinged it. So we do have both top laners. Now, the thing is, Kama has not got back yet. So Anivia is able to walk up quicker.
Very true. Latex can push off for now. Stealthy making a move towards the top lane. Call of the Forge God not going to connect onto Aspect. Now the Showstopper to get the set back towards his turret. The knockup from the Ornn not going to connect either. Still holding onto the Haymaker for now. Tiny Fist, all out of cooldowns, flashes away from the set W. Latex is here now. Nocturne only level 5, but still going to try to get something done. Fear Tether is down onto the Ornn, but Stealthy has a lot of damage. The Nocturne has to be careful. Oh, Tiny Fist's not quite getting the knock-up there again, but still does get the flash out from Latex. And now Aspect. Oh, that was a good attempt for Fists to try to immune the Phase Breaker, but not going to come through. And Stealthy's not going to be able to get away either. So a couple of kills going over to the Outlaws, one for each solo laner.
Yeah, I am really wondering what Kama was thinking there. Because look, he's just farming turret. The Lunar was able to get up there support as well. Lord JK was able to get it. And I mean, what, you got 2 plates, but that's 2 kills
Ooh.
over, and you might even die right here.
Wow, yeah, Kama taking a bunch of damage. The Q is going to connect for JK as well. The wall was already used, but Nivea still holding on to the flash for now. The icicle is not quite enough damage. Oh, it's JK. You could really feel JK wanted to go for it there, but gonna hold on to the summoner spell. Good discipline.
Yeah, but in that last fight, Stealthy didn't have flash, right? I said that it's going to be punishing not being able to have ult in that fight,
Yeah,
and or not having flash, right, to jump in, and I mean, couldn't even jump out.
that's right. Was that missing flash ended up being the demise of Stealthy. And of course, in the aftermath, we did see the grubs
Ooh,
go
here
over.
comes
As
in.
Paranoia into the mid lane. Kama does use the flash to get underneath the turret. And Little Monk, Latex is
Oh
going
my
so
God,
deep for
Latex
this.
Ice
And oh
though!
no! He attacks the turret instead of the Lux. Oh, that is absolutely tragic. And Latex is going to give over one for free.
Yeah, I mean that's a flash use, but I mean that's a kill over to Kama, right? So that means yeah, so we have feats are still not coming. Ooh, actually ult comes
Oh,
out.
Featherstorm's going to come out in the bot lane. Blade Caller
Stealthy's in the
really
background.
good. That's good damage down. The barrier is not enough to keep Pilling him alive. And Drakenrich is going to pick up the kill. Lunar tries to flash away. Emilio has the kick, but it's not going to be enough. It's a double kill over to the Xayah. And that's feats of warfare for BLM.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that there were no feats yet, right? Being that Obsidian was only able to get 2 kills, they weren't able to get the third one, but there it is. Xayah now has 2 kills. That really evens up that bot lane and gonna give Braum Life Matters so much benefit, right? Being able to say, hey, look, now we're strong. We can actually fight you. We're not scared of this this early mid game pick. We are now strong enough to combat this.
Yeah, and credit to Stealthy for being there for the play in the bottom lane. But honestly, I feel like Drakenrich and Brute Souls were kind of just winning in the straight up 2v2. I think Xayah Braum had that, to be totally honest. Looking really good for them. The fact that they were just able to pick up a free kill onto their Lux as well. They haven't been able to make a move towards this dragon yet. Obviously, that's something they would really like to secure, given the fact that the grubs did go over to the other side. But
Oh, maybe. No, it doesn't look like anything's gonna happen there. Now I do want to see who. There looks like both. No, it looks like
oh,
Latex is trying to go. Ooh, hits the middle right there.
yeah, that
Latex
was
is
close.
is looking for this dragon here, right? Is in the area. Stealthy is just in his top lane or top jungle, just trying to farm out. Ooh, Braum doesn't hit the Q though, so nothing can happen. Oh, ult comes out.
A final spark in the mid lane. Lord JK still holding on to the passive. I don't think Egg has been popped yet this game.
Has
So the
not
Anivia
been.
is relatively comfortable still for now.
Yeah, but having that kill on Anivia definitely helps, right? Having the catalyst of eons, right? Being able to have the mana and the health regen from using abilities and getting taken damage. So I think that's definitely gonna help. But oh, Stealthy's actually not.
Okay, Stealthy gonna jump onto Latex here. The Nocturne in a very awkward position, tries to use the Paranoia to get out, and the Light Binding is going to miss, but it's not going to matter as Kama finds the kill. That's second death of the game for Latex, second kill for Kama, and it is looking like this first dragon will go over to Braum Lives.
Yeah, and that is now a feat for both teams for that for the epic monsters, right? Because we already had the 3 grubs now, and now we have the first dragon here. Ooh, knock up.
Aspect of Noxus doesn't have the turret aggro, so it should be totally fine.
Has the
Hopefully
shield
haymaker
as
there.
well.
Yeah, Tiny Fist is running pretty low on mana. It's going to have the teleport back up and available pretty soon, so should be able to clear out this minion wave, and then maybe can go for a reset if necessary. Aspect also with the teleport, so comfortably go for that as well. We just had the second round of grubs just now arriving onto the rift, and we can see both junglers are making their way towards this North River.
Yeah, we actually have Draconess here as well, right? So this is actually going to be... no, we do have Lunar Paul now walking up, so it's probably going to be a 4v4 here. That being that now we have a TP in from Tiny Fist here to get into this fight.
Yeah.
And Lucian
I'm
is
liking
just
the
bot
map
lane.
movements right now for BLM as Stealthy goes in with the Audacious Charge. JK able to back away, though. As, yeah, 4 men strong for BLM as they try to force their way into the river, but the teleport in for Aspect of Noxus is going to mean it is an honest 4v4, and that's going to be OTL starting up the grubs.
Ooh, does not hit the
Latex
knockup.
going to be able to smite away the first one. Stealthy
double
wants to go in.
knockup?
There's a two-man knockup comes up from Tiny Fist. Here's the call of the Forge God. Is the Orn going to be able to reactivate it? He does get the redirect. It's only
More
onto
hit,
JK.
though.
Aspect of Noxus gets a massive haymaker off. And JK trying to do the damage now. But Kama off on the side. The Lux is still untouched. They're going to be able to catch out JK. Now the Anivia mispositioned to try to get out enough
Luna, you're
damage
walking
onto
up
the
too
carries.
far.
But it's going to be the shutdown over to Kama. It's going to be a 3-for-1 in the team fight. Despite what looks like a great engage from Aspect, it's still a fight win for BLM.
Yeah, I think in that fight they kept Pilum bot lane, right? I think that wasn't the right call. Pilum doesn't have TP, right? Has to stop. But they did put Kama bot lane as well, right? So could just TP, but did just walk up faster, getting into that fight as well. So it turned into a 4v5 pretty quickly. Now, Obsidian did get 2 grubs though before that, so no one or did get a single grub. So they are not going to lose. Ooh,
Ooh,
flash out,
that's,
Penny Fizz.
Yeah, a little
Took
bit
tower aggro
awkward
right there.
timing there for the Orn as he goes in with the Searing Charge right as Aspect comes back to lane, but thankfully had the flash, so it's not going to be taken down.
Yeah, now I will say.
So,
Ooh,
Paranoia into the mid lane as Kama does have the flash. It's a flash follow for late Tex. Lux pretty close to the turret now, though, but a nice spell shield to immune the light binding. Is it going to be enough damage? They're so close to getting it, and they will take down Kama. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it's Pilum stunned up once again by the concussive blows. The Blade Caller, though, had already been used to Lucian, able to walk away, throws out the culling. It's mostly soaked up by the Unbreakable. And now this bottom lane seems like it's turned a corner. It's Zaya Braum now putting out the pressure.
I think in that again, I think that Lucian really did need to bring cleanse, right? We just saw that fight where stunned on Braum, the Braum passive, right? The feather pullback. Lucian just wasn't moving at all, right below turret, so wasn't able to get behind turret to try to get out of the firing range. It was just stuck there, taking as much damage as that they wanted to put in. Now I will say though, look at this mid lane here. That is a looks like it's closed a little bit, but that's still a 500 gold lead in that mid lane. You can see the CS difference of 27 and Lux being 3-1 and 2. But I think that kill, that shutdown over to the Lux really did bring that back together because it was a oh
Showstopper there from
Whoa.
Oh man, that's just the good old RW. One shot the Orn.
Yeah, I was a little scared there for Aspect because it took tower aggro, but bolts out of there completely fine.
Yeah, I guess must have seen the angle. The Bellows Breath must have been on cooldown there, or maybe Tiny Fist just wasn't expecting the R to come out from the set, but that's going to be first turret as well. So now,
1-1 for feet.
Yeah, well, if the Feat of Warfare did go to the side of BLM, right? So it's going to come down to objectives now. Whoever is first to 3.
They both do only have 1 though, because BLM does have 1 dragon. However, Obsidian did get the first 3 grubs, and it looks like they're going to position for this second drag that's coming up in 41 seconds. I wonder if they're just trying to... I mean, Kama's in the area. It looks like they're going to try to tower dive. I think Lucian's dead here, right? It's 4v1, yeah. Unless Lucian backs up to
they have a
tier 2.
wave.
I don't think you want to go into 5 people, actually. They brought everyone down here. I think that they said top lane's already lost. Aspect doesn't actually have TP yet, so can't even come into this fight as well for the second drag.
He's gonna have it very soon, though. The dragon hasn't actually spawned yet, so I think Aspect actually will have the option here if he would like to teleport in.
It does come up in 10 seconds, though, so it is a little late for dragon, but it is still possible. Herald has spawned as well, but doesn't look like...
Up on spawn
that
for
was a
BLM.
lot of damage.
Yeah, good poke landing from the Lux there, who does have her first item done as the Ludens, so a lot of burst damage. Almost landing another light binding there, but Pilum just barely out of range. Dragon getting burned down. The Paranoia does get knocked into the pit. He steals it away, but Culling comes out as well. It's a lot of damage down as they take down the Lux right at the start of the fight. Stealthy not going to be able to get away either. It's a huge turn for the Outlaws. Tiny Fist tries to charge away, but he gets stunned up. He gets taken down. It's the objective plus 3 kills for OTL Obsidian.
That was a great steal actually from Nocturne, being able to smite while in the air, right? Getting that hit, but I mean, that was a bouncy castle onto Pilum, but he survives and is just able to hit. We did have Aspect being able to just, keep everyone in the area just so that we had Lord JK being able to have the ultimate, the stuns, right? Being able to have Pilum's Q just keep auto attacking and hitting to get the passive up, and there it is. There's just 3 kills over, and that's the swing that Obsidian needed to get back in this game, and now have a 2K gold lead.
Yeah, it's really massive for them, and getting this Herald means they do get the upgraded shoes as well. That was their third objective. So they are in a pretty good spot now. This tier 1 in the bot lane will go down for Drakenrich and Brute Souls. So it's a little bit more gold for the Xayah, which is going to be pretty nice. But there still feels like the side of BLM are starting to slip a little bit in this first game.
Yeah, and they don't know though.
They're going to go for the bush play. Lunar Paw is going to be the one who's exhausted. I'm not sure if the focus is quite right here, as Pilum, untouched, is going to be able to dash forward on top of Dragonrich. That's going to force out the feathers from the Blade Caller. Does come out. It's decent custom blows as well for the stun as Brute Souls dashes over, but now Dragonrich and Souls, they're on the wrong side of the rift. There's nowhere for him to go. Pilum lets it loose with the culling, and that's going to be a couple of kills over to the Lucian. His Aspect actually does take that second one. I could kind of see what Dragonrich and Souls were going for there, but the target selection was not good. They needed to go on the Lucian, as now the Anivia into the egg here in the mid lane is Stealthy able to charge for the Paranoia from the jungler to try to peel for the mid laner, but they are going to be able to finish off that Anivia. Nocturne trading it back onto the Lux. Now it's just the junglers left in mid lane, and Stealthy is just going to back away.
Yeah, but if you saw that there, I mean, that's a 2-level difference for the junglers, right? Stealthy was just doing no damage at all in that entire fight, and was just kind of stuck with having to deal with the Anivia. So it's just so much damage coming out. So does get the kill and is able to just kind of walk out freely.
Yeah, it's good heads up from Latex to make that a 1-for-1, because initially it looked like a pretty good play for Kama and Stealthy, right? But then the fact that Latex was also there made it an even trade, and you're absolutely right to point out that differential between the junglers. It's a pretty substantial CS lead for Latex right now. He's up about 30 CS in the jungle. As another tier 1 turret is going to fall, so more gold for the Xayah now, and they don't overextend this time looking for kills.
Yeah, we'll say that first item of the Voltaic.
The Cyclo Sword, you're looking at the Lucian builds? Yeah, that is really,
yeah,
I was
because
noticing that
as
as
you
well.
saw, Lucian only focused the Xayah, right, and was just deleting her. Spiral of lethality.
Oh, I don't know. Pilum a little bit aggressive there, but not going to get punished.
I think they see that really low mid turret, really want to get that out, right? Be able to push mid lane. Otacon does spawn in 46 seconds. We do have the Dragon in 125 as well. They do have the Rift Herald as well, so I think that they really want to take this mid turret and then... Ooh, Nicolar's working up a little, but they do want to take this mid turret and push and have that Rift Herald be able to push it as well.
They're going to be able to get it here. It's just one hit from dead, so Pilum's going to be able to walk up, one auto attack, and that's going to be tying us up now. 3 turrets apiece. All the tier 1 turrets have been felled on both sides, so the map's opened up now quite a bit. Launches, we were saying in the draft that we felt like the side of Obsidian need a pretty hefty early lead with this composition, right? And they do have a lead. It's not the biggest, but how are we feeling about their current position in this game, you know, taking the drafts into account?
I think that they have enough lead, especially on someone who can scale like the set, right? They have the damage from the set. They have the damage from the Anivia really able to come out, right? That is the Rod of Ages now actually done for the fully stacked Rod of Ages now done for the Anivia, right? So, and with the kills on Lucian as well, I think that Obsidian definitely has the upper hand now. They can lose it pretty quickly because this is more of a mid-game team. So there could be a switch over back onto BLM.
Ooh, interesting. They're going to start up the Otacon. Dragon has just spawned, so this is a really interesting read from BLM. They're predicting that Obsidian are going to go for the Dragon, and they're absolutely right. So this is looking like the Otacon is going to go over for free. It is the Ruinous Otacon, as Lord JK is trying to be annoying here on the Anivia, but the Anivia does not have Smite, and it is going to be good there from Stealthy. So the Ruinous Otacon does not give you the GA, obviously. It gives you an increased buff to your rewards from the other epic monsters, of which, unfortunately, BLM don't actually have that many. So I appreciate that they were able to find the cross map, but what do we feel about? How do you feel about that trade overall, Launches?
I mean, they took bot turret, they took mid turret, they took dragon, and then now they're about to take another mid turret. So, in the grand scheme of things, I think that Obsidian has a
Yeah.
great read here and just said, you can take the one objective, we'll take 4.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, with all those turrets going down, that is the difference. As Call the Forge God is going to come out as a nice flank angle for Fist of Fury, as now the Anivia is going to go into the egg very early on in this fight. Aspect of Noctis
Oh, the
gets off the
damage on Xayah,
Haymaker.
though.
That's some good damage, but the Xayah is still alive in the back. Oh, the Culling actually takes down Drakenrich, and you can see Pilum is still able to fire on the Lucian, dashes over the wall with the Relentless Pursuit, is able to last hit Stealthy. Well, the light binding not quite going to connect. Solution has a blast going as well as the flash over from Brute. Souls to stay close to Pilum. One more blow would mean the Lucian is concussed, but he has another blast cone to get away. Really close fight there. Does end up being BLM that come out ahead 3-2.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with the lethality. Lucian, right, was able to hit the Xayah, was able to hit kind of Stealthy, who's not really building that much tank, but is not gonna be able to do much against this Ornn, against this Braum, right? So Braum, they can just take the damage and kind of just walk it off, right? So yeah, they killed off the damage, but if they can't take out the Lux, right, who's being blocked by the Ornn, by the Braum, I mean, Lucian just goes pop.
Yeah. And that's Lucian's main weakness, right? Is he is so short range. You have to kind of like dash in and get right in the face of your opponents to really get out your damage to you know, make your combos work, right? So it is dangerous, especially into champions like Braum, like Xayah, like Jin Zhao, right? Getting up close and personal can be really difficult. I was able to get away on the back end of that fight, sitting on a 400 gold bounty right now, is the Lucian. So keeping him standing is going to be very, very important for the side of OTL.
Yeah, I will say though, this half of this gold lead is actually 4K gold lead we have is actually on this set. Set has an 1800 gold lead already onto this Ornn, right? Having that 4-2 and 4 score line here. So much gold, but is Set going to be able to capitalize on it, right? Are they going to be able to say, hey, okay,
They've possibly
maybe cut
found
out?
Brute Souls here, but he's going to be able to stand beside his AD carry. Paranoia off on the side. They've caught the jungler as well. Jin Zhao's possibly in trouble. He does have the Crescent card, but the Haymaker is so much damage. You were just thinking the Set's praises, and we saw Aspect do some more work right there. It's going to be 5v4 on the map now for OTL. They siege mid-turret.
Ooh, Latex is taking a little damage from turret there, but yeah, I think that Haymaker was really great because there was the stun from the Lux, right? But that having that so much shield right there was able to stave off the karma damage from the ultimate, and it just walks it off. Ooh, but is gonna have a delay of back, so we'll have to back up a little bit further. And mid turret is still standing, so at least there is one thing good for BLM at this point.
Yeah. They're also having Tiny Fists in the side lane over there to soaking up a little bit more XP. The Ornn is level 15 now. So he's already given that first ornament out to his mid laner, and I have to imagine he's going to be looking for Drakenrich next to give out that upgraded item. I think he's doing so right now. I do believe. Oh, actually gave it to Stealthy give it to the Jin Zhao before the Xayah. A little bit curious about that.
I think it's more of a wanting Stealthy to really jump in and protect the Xayah, right? So if Xayah pops instantly without a front line, then they're gonna have no damage. So having Stealthy up there tanking the damage for the Xayah so that she can get more hits in.
Okay.
So it doesn't really need that damage, doesn't really need the upgrade as early. I also don't know what is upgraded on actually Xayah's build. I don't remember if Essence
All
Reaver
items
or
get
the Voice.
upgraded now. They changed the way Ornn works. You can upgrade any item now.
It was all because I remember that, but I didn't know if they actually fully went through with it. They were talking about it, so I guess yeah. And now I'm thinking about it, that was a very long time ago. But yeah, I see in chat. Yeah, they're waiting for the IE to come through. That's most likely, right? Having that IE come through for the Xayah, having that more damage, right? Having what 90 AD at that point, it's gonna definitely help.
Yeah, fair enough then. Let's see, how close are we to IE? Xayah currently has Pickaxe in inventory, so about 600 gold away. Pretty close, actually, is Drakenrich to that 3-item spike, but the second Ocean Dragon is alive right now, and looks like the side of BLM don't actually want to fight for it. They're looking for a play on the top side instead. Aspect of Nox Showstopper flash over the wall to get away. So the set's out of there, and this is going to be Ocean Soul Point over to OTL.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good though for the side of BLM, right? Getting the flash out of the set. Yeah, they use the Zinzalo, but it's not that bad, and they're not going to be able to kind of go for this Baron here. Aspect actually is still in the area just in case anything happens, right? We do see Kama in the bot lane trying to get that wave pushed out from their own side, but I mean that's four. Actually, here comes the
A little
ultimate.
paranoia. They found Kama alone in the side lane. Lux is so susceptible to getting ulted by the Nocturne. She tries to flash away, but Latex, I think, has the movement speed. It's one more auto attack, and that's going to do it. A solo kill for OTL Obsidian Jungler.
And I think that I was gonna say that might be.
Oh,
Or
that's
actually, no,
Zaya getting stunned up as well. She's forced to use the Feather Storm just to get away from the Anivia damage. Now the Call of Force guys is going to come out, but your carry is already down. JK is going to be able to stun up the Jin Zhao. Stealthy tries to flash forward aggressively,
the
but
ult, though.
guys, you're fighting without mid and ADC. Stealthy's just going to get trapped in there by the wall. Aspect of Noxus has teleported in. He pulls back in the Ornn, who flashes away to try to stay alive. Oh,
And
it's
look at
messy for the
look at
side
mid.
of
Plum's just getting mid turret as
BLM.
well. Mid inhibitor as well.
Yes. I think this one is all over launches. Two
Yeah.
inhibitors down. It's 6 seconds on Kama. Nexus turrets under fire. The culling. That's going to be Pilum. Lets it rip. It's soaked up by the
Kama's
Braum
alive,
once
though.
again. Kama is alive again. The first Nexus turret has gone down. Final Spark comes out. That's going to be half health on the Melio, but that's going to be Aspect of Noxus using the Showstopper to push away the entirety of BLM, and the Nexus will fall 28.5 minutes in. OTL Obsidian take game number 1.
Yeah. Again, like I said in draft, I think that while I like the BLM draft, I just think that Obsidian's going to be able to pilot it just a little better, right? We have a 4-1-3 Lucian, a 1-1-12 Milio, right? So they were able to get in and say, hey, yeah, we're just gonna, yeah, you have a better draft. We need to win early. And while we did lose kind of that right at that 5-minute mark, right, giving those 3 kills over, we're gonna say that's fine. We're just gonna do more damage a little later, catch you out whenever you walked up a little too far, and take this game.
Yeah, absolutely right. There was that one time the bot lane for OTL overstepped a little bit and ended up getting punished. 'Cause that's when Zaya Braum can really get you, right. If you overstep, if you get hit by a bunch of feathers there on the blade caller, definitely can get very dangerous. But Pilum and Lunar Paw were able to be so effective in that mid game of playing the fight so well, and they really just helped the snowball the team to a pretty quick win here. I mean, sub 30 minutes is not bad whatsoever, and
Hmm.
it's definitely good when you're playing against a composition that BLM are piloting here that has so much scaling. Feels pretty good for the side of OTL. They were able to close that one out pretty quickly.
Yeah, we'll say though, I think that JK definitely had a pretty good showing, right, especially for his first game
Mm-hmm.
for Obsidian. So I think that they're not going to be too pissed off at his showing. He went 4-3-6, I think. So I mean, it's not the worst, right? It's pretty good scoreline. Was able to have those pretty good walls, those
Yeah.
stuns into the haymaker of set and everything. So I don't think that it's going to be. I think this could go both ways, right? We did see, even though that Obsidian did have that early game team comp, they were able to get that, or they didn't have the early game team comp. They were able to get that early lead. So there is a possibility that BLM is able to get this win, put this series into a 1-1 into a game 3, but they're definitely gonna have to change up some stuff to do it.
Yeah, BLM definitely had some moments there in the first game. Not quite able to make it happen in that one though. But who's your game 1 POG launches for the side of OTL Obsidian? Definitely some couple of strong contenders, I think.
I think I'm gonna have to give it to Aspect. I think some of those
Yeah.
pulls, those haymakers, those ults as well were just really beneficial, right? He might have not even looking at the damage charts or
He
how
did
much
have
gold he
most
had.
damage. Yeah. But go ahead.
He was just able to set up for the Braum, for the Anivia to come in, get the kills, and kind of snowball their leads.
Yeah, for sure. I think we do have to give it to Aspect for this one, right? Had the option for the counter pick into the Ornn. Went with the set, definitely made it work pretty well. Was a great anchor for the team in those fights, no doubt about it. We're gonna go to a short break, guys, and then we'll be back for game number 2 draft.
Tried to give the best of it, but it was coming undone. Oh, every choice filled with regret till the night we were done. So sick and tired of trying to listen, but feeling so misunderstood. Every word and action misfigured by promises no good. And why did I never listen when you would listen to me and made the wrong decisions, resisting the help I need? Oh, I know I could have done better. Oh, to keep you next to me. They say to blame it on the weather. I've been in and out my mind since I hit.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are about to get underway with our Game 2 Champion Select phase between Braum Lives Matter and Outlaws Obsidian. The Outlaws, that first game, it was definitely a little bit back and forth, right launches, but in the end, the Outlaws able to close it out pretty decisively.
Yeah. Also, we do see that BLM will be picking blue side, right? So they're going to have that first pick. Maybe see some changes in the draft. Not wanting to see, maybe wanting to let buy some Galio picks, or the Mordekaiser maybe is a first round band. But it's going to be interesting to see how this band phase is gonna change up, right? I'd love to see more Skarner Prio as well. I think Skarner is
Oh,
strong. I know
yeah,
both
wow.
teams didn't pick it,
He was
didn't ban it
totally
last game.
ignored.
So
Yeah, you're right. That is
I, I
interesting.
I'm surprised again. That Nocturne first pick was actually kind of surprising. So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, it ended up
it worked out.
working out. Yeah, it did. It's hard to argue with an exploded Nexus. But we'll see maybe if Skarner is going to make an appearance this time around. So in the previous game, Braum Lives Matter, when they were on the red side, they banned away the Jarvan, the Amumu, and the Seraphine. And for Outlaws, they banned away the Udyr, the Galio, and the Taric. So let's see if there's going to be any changes here. They are on different sides. Looks like the answer is going to be no.
Yeah, looks like saying we are just actually no.
Oh,
It looks like the Nocturne
okay.
band. They were scared of that first pick Nocturne.
Interesting. So they just really have a high prio in the Nocturne then for the side of Obsidian.
I think that BLM think best thing to do is slam down the Skarner here, right? Skarner's just really powerful in the metal in any league, right? So if they do pick the Skarner, I think it's going to be really beneficial. Has that stun, has the impale, but Wukong,
Yeah. Well,
I
Wukong is
guess. I mean, it's strong, right? And it is a flex pick. We did see in Crusaders where they did bring out that Wukong top lane, right, for that flex pick.
sure.
It was into Jax though, and Wukong was not doing pretty good into Jax. The one bonk of one
Hmm.
person was a little stronger than the other bonk.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. You know, the Wukong is a relatively strong pick as well. Is a flex, like you mentioned. He was nerfed, I guess not on this patch, but the previous patch they took 5% attack speed off his E. So that hurt a little bit, but still relatively meta pick. Interesting to see the Braum Lives Matter prioritize it so highly. The response from Obsidian is going to be the Echo and the Ash.
I mean, Ash is fine. I think she's still pretty strong. I think she's about to get another. She got a quote unquote buff right to her kit, which was just putting some more AP on her ultimate, which I think is not very beneficial. And funny enough, she's about to get nerfed again in this next patch.
Hmm.
Don't know why. I think that they should be hitting other champions, but I guess they don't like the slow. But actually, the Tristana actually comes out for BLM, and there's the
Of
Braum
course.
again. You can't go
Of
wrong with a
course.
Braum
Yeah.
on Braum.
They need
But
their Braum.
I think that's not that bad, right? Again, just like the Zaya, the Tristana Q is able to have the quick attack speed, being able to stack the Braum passive pretty quickly. And the other thing is, if Tristana is able to get the rocket jump, you put the bomb into the rocket jump. As soon as you land with with it, you do get a stack onto your bomb, right? So you can then stack the passive pretty quickly on the bomb, and boom, disappeared.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a powerful combo. The Tristana Braum, no doubt about it. Um, Ash Lulu, not generally, considered a strong pairing, but certainly both champions that are powerful in the current meta. So we'll see if
Mhm.
the Outlaws are gonna be able to make that lane work. They do have the double ranged advantage over Tristana Braum at the very least, but gonna have to be careful about playing that too aggressively for the reasons that you were just explaining to us.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if this Echo is a mid lane or a jungle pick, right? Because they don't have any tanks right now. So is it gonna be? Are they gonna bring out that set again? Are they gonna try to bring out maybe they steal the Ornn this time, right? I definitely think that Obsidian needs some tank, right? But we will
Hmm.
see the Silas and the Lissandra ban over from Obsidian, and we will see the Mordekaiser just like last time banned by Braum. I think this Silas ban is pretty good, right? You really don't want to have the Echo ult stolen, the Ash ult, or the Lulu ult stolen. All of those have pretty good setups and stuff like that.
We're going to ban away the set. So respect ban there for BLM. The Vagar is going to come through for JK. I believe JK had some games on this pick. Not too many games. Actually, yeah, I don't see anything here on the op.gg for it. I think I was looking at who had some Vagar games. I don't
Kama
know.
had a couple, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's probably what I saw, yeah.
Yeah, Kama had a
Um,
couple.
So it's going to be picked away from Kama in that case. As Kennen is going to come out. Interesting. So most likely the blind top Kennen, which seems pretty brave.
Yeah, the thing is, they do know Braum does know that Obsidian will be picking a tank, right? They don't have any frontline here,
Okay, yeah.
so it is gonna be the Anivia actually steal away as well. So it's gonna be
Hmm.
a Vagar Anivia. I mean, talk about immobile champions mid lane. We don't have any dashes mid lane. That's very surprising here, but
Yeah, old school matchup for sure. I did actually see Vagar and Nivea. I saw that mid matchup just the other day in one of the other leagues that I cast. And it looked pretty difficult, honestly, for the Vagar. The really annoying thing about that matchup, obviously, is the fact that you never have kill threat on the Anivia until you burn the passive. So Vagar almost has to like hold his ultimate until you like kill Anivia the first time, which feels pretty bad. But we'll see. Maybe JK is going to be able to navigate this matchup and find that little bit of extra damage that he's going to need. A Scion on the R5 here. So there's that tank that you were calling for, launches.
now the thing is, I will always bring this up every time. Please let that not be a Bow Scion. We don't want to see a. Let us not have a stride breaker, please, on the Scion. We don't need stride breaker.
Mm.
Because old school Bouse would pick Prowler's Call Scion and, one
Oh
tap
god,
them and,
yeah.
and jump in. But let's not have an 80 Scion, please. I know that you need a front line, so please go tank Scion and not 80 Scion. It's not going to work if you do.
Well, we do have, Aspect of Noxus playing the Scion this game. Does have 15 games on it this season with a 67% win rate. So that at least is looking pretty good. We'll have to see what kind of build he does end up going for. I'd have to agree. I feel like I'd like to see the full tank Scion as well. But it is definitely going to be an annoying matchup against the Kennen. So
Yeah,
be
especially like the
interesting.
stuns and stuff like that. However, if there is a knockup, and again, all Cannon has is like the movement speed, right? So a good knockup could do a lot of damage, but we'll have to see. 'Cause this is,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, looking at these drafts, I think again, just like last game, I think that uh, Braum Life Matters has a bit of a better draft, right? But I
Okay.
think that Obsidian can bring this just to a 2-0, right? If this ass gets fed, if this Vagar gets fed, if this Echo gets fed, there's not going to be much that BLM can actually do against this team comp. with
Yeah.
just a small lead in the beginning, it's definitely going to snowball.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree, Launches. I think that BLM here, they've got a really powerful team fighting composition. They've got one of those comps basically where it's just like everybody kind of just wants to press R and go in at the same time and see if you can make the wombo combo happen. Because you can catch multiple members in that slicing maelstrom and that cyclone. That's kind of how you're going to win out with this BLM draft. For the side of the Outlaws, it does feel a little bit all over the place, right? They did end up drafting that front line with the Scion on the R5, so he's going to be able to create some space for the Ash Vagar, but there's not really a traditional hyper carry for the Lulu to be buffing up. Echo feels a little bit out of place in the jungle. He really just wants to skirmish, whereas Vagar and Ash just kind of want a more standard team fight. So it feels like the Outlaws are probably mostly just drafting for comfort here. And it feels like that kind of worked out pretty well for him in game number 1. So I guess I don't see why not.
Yeah, now I am a little skeptical of this double AP jungle mid lane, right? We usually want to have that mix up there, but I guess they say because we have that Scion top lane, we'll just go with that kind of tank, but does do a lot of AP damage, right? And of course, the Ashe bot lane, you're gonna have an ADC bot lane. We haven't really seen many mages bot lane, and we're not gonna see an Ashe mid, yeah, an Ashe Tristana mid, right?
Surely not.
Put the Anivia Vagar bot lane would be funny to see, but that's not gonna be what we see. It is just gonna be the Anivia Vagar mid lane. But I think that OLM, they definitely went for more of a poke comp, right? It's a poke comp with Echo. That's the problem. You know, you have the Ashe poke, you have the Lulu poke, you have the Vagar poke. Scion can kind of poke with his little dash, with his Q in bushes and stuff. But this Echo is just out of place, just saying, hey, I want to jump in there, want to delete someone, run away. I mean, I guess it works, right? You get poked out, Echo jumps in, jumps
Certainly
out, you
can.
die. But we'll have to
We'll
see.
see. We will see indeed. Launches, pretty solid draft from BLM. Once again, was not enough to get them over the line in game number 1. It was Outlaws Obsidian showing their strength, showing why they are the undefeated team here in Sentinel. They were more coordinated in the critical moments. We'll see if that rings true again as we head into a short break before game number 2.
It's your phone, I've been counting up the times that I did you wrong. I just want you by my side when I get real gone. Feel it's been a little while since we got along, yeah. We've been playing stupid games, the situation rotates. And they say communication, safe relations, okay. Medicated how I'm patient, wasting time ain't the way. Cause I can see it on your face. I've been tossing, turning, staying up all night long. I've been calling, yearning, wondering what I did wrong. I could tell by your eyes you got something to hide. So open your mind up, let me inside, and let's make it right. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? Cause I keep trying to figure it out. Oh no, oh no. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? I'm only picking up what you're putting down. You'll be tripping, I don't know what about. So what's the problem right now? Okay, now hold up. Let me get something right off my chest. I've been meaning to read into it, time to put it to rest. Is it stress? Is it that I ain't answer your text? Don't you treat it like amnesia, you know I always forget. Stirring the pot real hot, watch how the plot thickens. Around the clock, tick tock, need more than 20 seconds to get your attention before it's on to the next thing. And I'm over here again wondering, can I hold ya, hear your truth, pull you closer, talk it through.
Girl, you know that I'm the one that you can come and complain to. Your silhouette's amazing, but your brain is a maze too.
So can you help me find my way while I find something to say?
I know the arguing just augments everything going both ways, but baby, I can see it on your face.
I've been tossing, turning, staying up all night long. I've been calling, yearning, wondering what I did wrong. I could tell by your eyes you got something to hide. So open your mind up, let me inside, and let's make it right. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? Cause I keep trying to figure it out. Oh no, oh no. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? I'm only picking up what you're putting
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Rift, our second game of the night. OTL Obsidian up 1-0 in this best of 3 over Braum Lives Matters. We get the zoomed out view, a beautiful scenic shot of Summoner's Rift. Looks like a pretty casual level 1 for us launches.
Yep, nothing too special to start off with. Just gonna be a 5-point. I guess 3-point actually looks like at this point. The 5-point for Obsidian here. So I don't think anything's gonna come out. We do have looks like just double barrier for the ADCs. We're not gonna see a cleanse, I guess. I mean, I think cleanse would have been pretty good, right? Cleansing out of, especially for Tristana, being able to cleanse out of the Veigar cage, cleanse out of the Echo stun, and of course cleanse out of the Ashhold as well. I think those are pretty strong. But I guess saying no, I'm just gonna want something a little more protective. Maybe get another auto attack in from the bomb, get a kill like that.
I think I feel like you're just a cleanse enjoyer launches.
No, I think that Barrier had that nerf, right? So Barrier
yeah.
is not as strong as it could be. But I think that in certain games when you have 3 or more stuns, I've kind of learned that if they have 3 or more stuns, you probably want to go cleanse.
I think that's very
Especially
fair.
as I am a Tristana main and I am terrified of going against Ashe without cleanse. It
Yeah,
is
it
not
can be
fun.
scary.
And I will also say 07 to the Tristana because one of the worst matchups is the Veigar because you can't actually buffer out of the cage in time. Your jump is just too slow to get out, and you will if you get in the cage, if you try to jump out, you will always get hit. You can't buffer out of it, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, and it's not like some dashes where you still get the distance at least, but then you're stunned afterwards. And Tristana doesn't even get the distance, right? She just gets
She
stunned
just
on the
drops
cage,
right there.
and then you're just a sitting Yordle, as it were. But we'll have to see if Draconwitch is going to be able to avoid those kinds of situations. Both of our junglers are starting on the bottom side of this of the map this game launches, so they're both going to be pathing up towards this Ken and Scion lane.
I mean, I think that this is going to be a pretty slow lane. I mean, getting some hits in, right? I don't think it's there's not going to be much that comes out of it though, right? I don't think that Scion or Ken are going to try to be pushing up too far or going to lose too hard. It looks like Scion does actually have the advantage, though. I'm actually surprised. I guess Tiny has not been able to get kind of as many auto attacks in, of course, the shield as well. And I just get really annoying later in the game. Or actually, sorry, now.
Yeah, I mean, Aspect, our game 1 POG, right? Did have the option of going for the counter pick again this game. Scion, not something that I really feel like he picked for the lane necessarily. But it's going pretty well so far, as you say. We're going to tag Pilum there with a Winter's Bite. Just Root Souls, showing him that he can land those. There's another one.
Does
Very
look
nice.
like Obsidian do know where the Wukong is. That Hawk Shock from the Ash able to spot out. Lunar Paul's kind of walking up a little, make sure you don't get hit by that Q. Does dodge out of it, so you're not going to get the slow, not going to do too much. But actually, now the thing is, I'm not sure. I guess no, being that Latex did just take Scuttle Crab, they don't see the Wukong, which then entails that, hey, probably rotating bot lane. We do see the Tristana Braum coming up as well, trying to support, get that second, or I guess the first Scuttle Crab.
Very nice for Stealthy there, and he does have the bot prio. They're able to move up, help him secure that crab. Of course, on the other side, we saw that Latex had the top prio from Aspect that was able to move down and help the Echo secure that top scuttle. So it will end up being a trade. Jungler's dead even after their first clear.
Yeah, we do see Aspect getting in a lot of hits, actually kind of winning this fight actually against this Kennen early, which is actually pretty incredible. It does have the CS lead, does not actually have the level lead though, so is gonna being hurt a little from these Qs and everything, and of course is low in mana while Kennen can just stay in lane because he is an energy champion. So we'll have to back very soon.
It is really intriguing to me that Tiny Fist decided to go for the call in this matchup. I feel like you could have itemized a little bit more aggressively for the lane. I wonder. Oh, there's a nice stun that does come out from the Kennen, but I wonder if Tiny Fist had gone for a little bit more of an aggressive starting item. Maybe the Kennen would be able to pressure a little bit more against the Scion.
I think Tiny kind of said that, hey, because I'm ranged, I can poke out the Scion and keep getting CS, right? So
Ooh.
it's not going to be too bad. Ooh,
JK
get
a
a
little
little
bit in
damage.
trouble there, but sidesteps the Flash Frost. We'll be all right.
But I think it definitely was a thought in Tiny's mind, like, hey, look, I can push out, or sorry, I can get the CS right. I won't get hit by Scion because I am ranged, so it's not going to be too bad for me. So I should be able to just farm up. But I think that Aspect has just been playing so well here, being able to get the hits and everything in, getting the Qs as well. Whenever Tiny doesn't have the little movement speed boost, and is just not able to actually walk up far enough to actually hit minions.
Interesting to see here. We do have the early roam up from Brute Souls, is in this North River right now, joining up with the jungler, try and secure this first round of grubs. We do have Latex also in the area, and Lunar Paws also moving over, but the Lulu lagging a little bit behind the play here. Let's see, the first grub has been secured. There's the unstoppable
Ultimate.
onslaught from Aspect. Scion moves down into the river, pushes the enemy support jungle off the objective. Not able to actually connect with the ultimate, though. Latex going to be able to smite away that second grub, and it looks like BLM are not going to continue the contest. So 2 grubs over to the Outlaws, and they're going to be feeling okay about that.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good, actually bringing up your support this time, not having your mid lane go back. Here it is.
Oh, yeah, 1v1 in the bottom lane between the AD carries. Jack and Rich able to stack up the explosive charge there. Pilum does have the barrier to try to counterattack, but the Tristana is just a little bit too strong early. Oh, Pilum with the flash. Oh, really good play in the brush there is the Ashe. Oh, she's trying to utilize the vision, and oh, she does get the first blood. Pilum playing that remarkably well, able to go 1-for-1 against the Tristana. Kama maybe in trouble now here in the mid lane. Latex not
Good
quite
dodges there.
able to find the stun. Stealthy is also here, but the Wukong doesn't quite have Cyclone just yet. We'll be able to escort the mid laner out to safety.
Yeah, I definitely think that in that fight, Draken played that a little off. Should have jumped straight onto Ashe. I think it was scared that Ashe was going to flash away, right? So had that delay, the delayed bomb as well. Doesn't actually have the trinket, right? So isn't actually able to get vision in that bush that Ashe flashed in. I'm surprised though that Ashe still did have vision on Tristana even afterwards, because Tristana was in the bush. It was a little awkward right there, but
had the hawk shot to keep vision. And yeah, okay. So Pilum and Lunarpaw going to be pushed back for now. Both junglers in the area. Latex dashing forward. Both junglers with level 6 now, so Stealthy. Ooh, thinking about a Cyclone there, but going to hold on to it for now. Yeah, we got the teleport in for Kama. And yeah, the Veigar has already roamed down, so 4v4. Both sides just going to back away. They wanted the numbers advantage fight, and neither side was able to get it.
there is no TP's top lane either, right? So it's just gonna stay as a 4v4. There is vision in the pit, so it's JK's actually here, trying not to get stunned by anyone. Ooh.
Okay, yeah, there is the Cyclone is going to come out now as Lunar Paw is the focus. The Lulu only level 5, still splashes over the wall, still going to get taken down, and Pilum now, nobody to peel for the Ashe. That's going to be 2 quick kills over to BLM. Latex now trying to get away, but the concussive flow stacked up. The Echo tries to go for the Chrono Break, gets out a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough. Stealthy takes him down, number 2 for the Wukong, and that's going to be a massive fight win for Braum Lives.
Yeah, I think that was really great. You saw the benefit of Tristana, right? Having that, the leapfrog tactics, being able to jump, get it, was able to jump onto Lunar, right? Get the kill onto Lunar, jump back out, try to get the Ashe, and then right afterwards being able to jump onto this Ezreal. Does have to flash though to get into range, trying to get another kill. It does get it stolen by Stealthy, but I think, I mean, that's fine. That is of course feats over 2 Braum's Lives Matter, but and the thing is, they were in a similar situation game 1 where they were ahead, so now they do have to try and not throw it.
Yeah, it's a lead, but it's not game-ending, certainly. It's a nice lead, though. It's 2K early on for BLM. It's going to feel pretty good. They're able to get that first dragon as well. I really feel like that last fight, I mean, that's kind of the draft difference, I feel like, that came into play. You know, also for the side of the Outlaws, they were a little bit separated there, right? They had their bot lane was off towards the bottom side of the fight, and they kind of had Echo and Veigar going towards the top side, so they kind of got divided and conquered a little bit. But overall, I feel like Braum Lives just have the better team fighting composition, right? They just have more tools in the 5v5, or the 4v4 as it was in that case. And
Yeah, without
they're able to
having
get a huge win.
without having Scion there, I think is really is painful, right? Not actually having a tank
Yeah.
there to do much. So I think because of that, I mean, all you have is just four really squishy champions that can't really do much, and because of that, we have a Tristana bomb that can delete everyone. We have Stealthy's Cyclone, right, that knocks everyone up. Stealthy is gonna jump in though. On
Playing
Latex,
aggressively
looking
here
good.
onto Latex. Echo is going to get a little bit of a shield, but has to play respectfully as the cannon had roamed into the river there as well.
There's the Ash
So,
Arrow though.
ooh, Crystal Arrow is going to land onto the Wukong. His follow-up going to be there. Tiny Fist. Oh, he gets trapped in the baby cage. Really nice cage there from JK. Primordial Burst, not quite enough to finish off the
Pilum?
cannon.
Pilum?
As in the bot lane, that was Tristana Braum able to punish the Ashe, who was alone underneath the turret. Lunarpaw did make the roam
Ash
up
was
here.
AFK. Ash just stood there. I wonder if something happened because Ash didn't move
Wait,
at
was it
all.
the
Wasn't
Braum stun?
sidestepping or anything.
It could have been the Braum passive, no? I didn't actually see the outside
It wasn't.
of that.
It wasn't a stun. Ash was literally just standing there.
Well, I'm not really sure then, but either way, JK is going to be able to sidestep out of that one as the Grubs will, I believe, all be secured there as Latex now trying to get away from this Wukong. Cyclone coming out from Stealthy, but not able to finish off Latex as he's able to dash over the wall to get away after securing the objective.
And that's actually all three Grubs over to
That's
Obsidian.
right.
So they are going to get us their first feat of strength for the epic monster. So it is 1-1 right now. Of course, looks like turrets are still pretty strong, right? That bot turret though is not going to be feeling the best. It's already 3 plates actually over to that Tristana. So that gold lead is definitely going to be hurting. I mean, that's already a 1100 gold lead for Tristana against this Ashe.
Yeah. Brackenrich, quite fed, has the Berserker Greaves advantage over Pilum right now. Gonna be feeling pretty good. But Ashe will still be able to provide value even from behind, right? It's a really strong utility champion. This aspect's gonna be able to clear out most of this wave, but still some decent damage from Brackenrich onto that turret. Oh, that Decimating Smash is going to get the knock up. Latex is waiting in the wings. Crystal Arrows coming down, not going to land this time.
Yeah, I think because of that ward on that pixel brush right there, I think that Tristana would have probably jumped into that Scion, tried to get the kill, and probably could have died to Latex giving over that shutdown. But that doesn't happen. They do spot it, just walk out. But I do assume that this bot turret is going to be going pretty quickly. It looks like Tristana is just going to be staying here, and the only person that's coming down here is Lunarpaw, right? I don't think Lunar can actually hold this turret, so that is most likely going to be feats going over to Braum Life Matters already.
Yeah, if they are able to get the first turret, that would be the upgraded shoes for them. They, of course, did get the Kid Warfare already, but they're going to respect. They don't have perfect vision. They don't know if maybe some other people are in the area waiting to punish, so we'll go for the reset. Dragon in 30.
Yeah, I am surprised though that they didn't at least try to get one more plate, even if they didn't do it, right? Because now plates are going to be falling in 25 seconds. They won't be able to get back into lane in time, so...
That's true, but they did reset in time for the objective, so we'll see if the side of BLM are going to make a move towards it. It would be their second dragon if they can get it. JK going to put down the cage, but immediately going to get stunned up by Kama. Latex going to be able to dive in there as well. Does have the Echo Ultimate to try and reset here. It's going to be able to get away as Stealthy has already gone for the Cyclone. JK now forced to flash away. Will survive for now. Lunarpaw is here now to give a little bit of shielding as more damage onto the Veigar. The heal comes out there from the Lulu to keep JK alive. So that's a lot of tools down on both sides, honestly. That's Flash and Ult for Wukong and Veigar, both on cooldown.
But that will be first turret going over to BLM, and they do get feats here. Or so they do get the feats of strength now.
That's absolutely right.
Ooh.
So a small win for them.
They
Nobody
actually
going
look
down in that
loud.
mid-fight. As, yeah, Kama in trouble. Does still have the passive, I believe. Is going to flash get underneath the turret. And that might have been enough, actually, to save the Anivia. The Veigar is here, though. And that last little... Oh, Echo walking back into turret range. Oh, it's an execute, though. The gold does not go over to BLM. And that will be a kill. I believe that was actually the Veigar that picked it... Or the Echo, rather, that picked it up.
Yeah, and that does give Lichbane over, so at least there is there at least is a benefit to Obsidian, but that is Dragon going over. So that's 2 dragons already over, right? Because they didn't have a jungler there to try to contest. And I mean, that just looked like a misplay. All I saw was Latex Latex walked in, tried to auto attack, got hit by the first turret, and just said,
Yeah.
"Oh no, I got hit. Let me do that again." And that just I was like, I was so confused because that was 3-4 turret shots of just walking back into turret, hitting an Nivea, getting hit, and
yeah.
walking away.
Yeah, a little bit of an unnecessary death there for the Echo. At least it wasn't execute, like I mentioned, you know, so that there is that. But the fact that he was dead meant that there was no way for the team to contest the Dragon. And it is a Hextech Soul now launches, so the fact that those first two went over to BLM could end up being really, really consequential.
For Obsidian, yeah, I think that's going to be very scary indeed if they are able to stack these dragons here, especially with the cannon, right? Lightning upon lightning is not going to feel really good to go against.
Yeah, pretty scary.
I will say there was just Aspect is just taking no damage from this cannon, right? Already having the Canic Ruin.
Wow,
Right,
yeah.
having that magic shield, having the 80. Oh, ult comes in.
Yeah, not quite going to be able to connect there. Doesn't even get the flash off the cannon, unfortunately. So a little bit of a whiff there on the ult for Aspect. Maybe you just wanted to clear the wave. But definitely, I do like the Canic Rooker and rush into double AP solo lanes. Feels fantastic, right?
Yeah, I do. Will say though, it is going to be a little scary. I think that they really have to deal with this Tristana, right? Tristana's already
Yeah.
building for the IE second item afterwards.
Oh, as Crystal Arrow can connect in the mid lane, pretty much point blank there on Akama, who doesn't have passive this time around. That's going to kill over to Pilum. But now the rest of BLM are going to try to move in here to punish. Stealthy diving towards Pilum with the Cyclone, has a second activation here as well, but the Wukong is in so deep, there's nobody able to follow up on Stealthy, and the shutdown goes over to Aspect. So that is 3 for nothing in the mid lane, just like that. OTL tying things up on the board, 5 apiece.
Yeah, I saw that Tristana jump, and that wasn't going to be good. You don't really want to be jumping. Oh, actually, here comes Yolto.
Slicing Maelstrom. That's going to be the cannon flashing and picking up that kill onto the enemy AD. Carry gets the sundown as well. Onto Lunar Paw, but the Winter's Bite not going to connect. So at least 1 kill going back for BLM.
I mean, luckily, there isn't a shutdown, right? Ash is not really that far. It is not doing the best, really. So, I mean, that's a really good turnaround. That cuts the gold lead pretty much in half now, right? That's now to only 1,500 gold difference right there. It is gonna be canceled. Ooh, does not get canceled. But in that fight, again, you just saw Tristana jump in, was really cocky, right? Saying, "Hey, I'm 3-1-1. I have one and pretty much 2/3 item. I can just jump in here." But walked a little too far forward. Didn't have that Braum in the area. Didn't have the cannon right to walk up, and just dies. Or had jumped out, flash, or had to flash out, right? So wasted the flash. It's not feeling good.
Definitely, that's not gonna feel good for the Tristana. I didn't actually see what was the CC that caught out Drakenrich after the jump. Did you catch that?
I think it was the stun from Latex was able to hit a lot of them. It hit 3 of them, which meant that Ash could jump in
Look for another stun right here.
Oh,
Kama able to get away from that one, but still might be in trouble. Then Horizon not quite going to connect. Latex almost going down to the turret again there. Does still have the Chrono Break available. Wukong, meanwhile, going to make a play here towards the mid lane as Tiny Fist looking to set this one up, but doesn't lock anybody down with the Slicing Maelstrom. And so Pilum and Lunarpaw are just going to be able to kite that one out. Meanwhile, Drakenrich seizure onto this top lane turret, but Aspect easily able to clear out the minion wave.
I think, but now that Aspect has seen just how strong this Tristana actually is, right? Having to 2v1 and pretty much losing all of his health. I think that going Thornmail might actually, going Thornmail. Actually, here comes the ultimate. I did not know that was the sound that Scion ult made.
Farm alarm this time. Getting back to lane, defending the turret still is Noxus.
We had going the Thornmail is actually going to be really beneficial, having the 70 AD, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I think Unending Despair is going to come out with that Aegis of the Legion, right? So, I mean, I guess you have that. It's a relatively cheap item. You have that healing every time you're in fight, and I mean it's 25 MR, 25 AD, or 25 armor. So I mean it's not the worst, but it definitely has been nerfed as compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, and he's not going to have it for this next dragon fight, but Latex has caught out a couple of people in the bush here. Gets the double stun. The Cyclone is going to come out very early before the fight even starts for Stealthy, but Latex may be trapped here by the crystalline wall. They're looking to take down this Echo, but the Wukong is the one who falls first. Latex flashes away, will eventually go down to the Anivia damage. So a trade of junglers, both junglers using ult and flash there. Both junglers end up going down. As
I think.
Sion is 1v1 against Braum right now in the top lane.
I mean, I was watching that. I think that was kind of a misplay for the side of Obsidian. I mean, they get top turret at least, but in that fight, you saw Pilum and Lunar just kind of sit back. They just let Latex kind of 1v2 there. Yeah, Latex was doing pretty good and probably could have got that kill without Lunar having to flash over and ult him. But I think that was just kind of a misplay. They didn't walk up far enough. Oh, actually, Aspect it might actually die here. Kama's in the area. We'll actually probably get the stun
Let's
as well.
see. The Scion is going to take some damage from the turret. A little bit. No, he's got that Canic
just
Ripper
walk
and is
out.
pretty effective against the Anivia.
Yeah, just kind of just said, yeah, you do damage to no one, to everyone but me. But they will
Well, he
actually
knew
spot
it.
out.
Yeah. The minions were going to take damage, so the Scion does still have to walk away from the turret. And now the Dragon has been started up by Obsidian on the other side of the map. They know that the Scion rather is soaking pressure, but Stealthy is here, tries to clone in to steal it away, but it's not going to happen for Stealthy.
Ooh, the knockup
The
though.
Echo does go in the Chrono Break. Yeah, the Braum ultimate is absolutely massive, and the explosion claims 2 for Drakenrich. Aspect of Nox is trying to keep things happening in the side lane here still. It looks like the other members of Obsidian are going to be able to get away after the Dragon did go down, so I think it's worth it still for the Outlaws to stop the soul stacking, but pretty nice for the side of Drakenrich to pick up that double kill.
Yeah, I think that it would have maybe been more worth it had the Tristana not got the double kill number 1, but also number 2 if they actually get this bot turret. But Kama being the Anivia is just able to wave clear so effectively that Aspect is not able to actually get a hit on the turret, not able to actually hit the demolish, right? And it's not going to do well. But actually, ooh, I was going to see if maybe Tristana was going to walk up, but it doesn't look like they're going to stay mid here. Yeah, there's just no damage.
Standing in the
He's
storm.
just face tanking.
He just doesn't care. Oh man. The Kama, I mean, maybe the Anivia goes for Leandri's next, right? And maybe you do a little bit of damage to the Scion? Not sure.
This is probably mid turret over as well, so at least you do open up mid turret. Slicing Maelstrom is available though, so it can be scary here. I think Lulu might die. Yeah, but I think Lulu's gonna die. Here comes the flash.
Ooh, a Slicing Maelstrom is going to connect onto 2 for Tiny Fist, but JK off on the side, a pretty nice cage to try to prevent the follow-up. Now Stealthy going to be able to go in to find the cycle. The Wukong so squishy, just gets popped like a balloon, and now Latex still has the Chrono Break to return to the original position. It's Brutal putting up the door, trying to cover the retreat of his teammates. Will be able to do so, but Stealthy going in there with the Cyclone, but it wasn't timed with the engage of the Cannon. And it's just that 1 kill over to Outlaws.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that Slicing Maelstrom was going to be really great, right? Being able to just focus it on the ass, not being able to move. Again, that's where cleanse comes into play, right? But the thing was, Draken was not able to get in there, and that ultimate from Lunar Paul to save Pilum was able to, just so that the damage could come back, was so massive. And there we go. There's Otacon over. It's going to be...
Yeah, Stealthy has just now respawned. They know that Wukong can't be here. Lidtek's going to be able to get a little bit of a shield from the W. Otacon is secured. And it is actually the Voracious this time around. So we're going to have the GA Otacon.
I mean, with this, while the Voracious Otacon was, of course, nerfed with having 200 gold going over to the opposition, plus the GA taking 15 seconds to respawn. I mean, a 15 second pretty much 15 second death timer at 24 minutes ain't really that bad. And I think that Obsidian is definitely going to try to push their advantage, right? Maybe 1-3-1, just 4-1 in the mid bot lane, mid top lane, try to get some turrets here.
Yeah, I mean, they could theoretically use the buff to play for Baron as well. Baron is up in about 30 seconds. Aspect of Noxus creating so much pressure here in the side lane. He can just, again, he can completely ignore the Anivia. He doesn't really care about anything that Kama can do. In fact, going to look for a little bit of a fight here. Does connect the ultimate onto the Anivia. Decimating Smash going to land as well, but Kama also relatively tanky with this build as Rod of Ages and Seraph, so it's a lot of health on the bird. Slicing Maelstrom going to get the stun onto JK's Veigar. Tries to outplay this one. Does get off the ultimate onto the cannon, but it's not quite enough to finish the job. And the withdraw will come through.
Yeah, again, I mean, that definitely is going to help. But, I mean, that does force Tiny Fist to go back. We do have the thing is, TP was already used by JK just because as soon as Voracious Otacon was used, had to go run here. But actually, Stealthy could die, could be dead here.
Let's see, the Wukong does not have ultimate, and Latex does, so ult advantage right now
Luna's here
for
as
the
well.
Echo. Stealthy tries to use the clone to be a little bit tricky with it. The arrow's not going to land, and actually, Echo holding on to the ultimate there does end up getting withdrawn. Meanwhile, Aspect also getting 1v3'd, or 3v1'd, I should say, in the bot lane, so that's some more gold going the way of BLM. But still, oh, this is an aggressive call for the Outlaws. They're just starting up Nash.
I mean, they have the Ash, right? They have the damage, but do they have... while they have the damage, do they have the tankiness?
They don't have anybody to soak up the damage from the Baron, and now the collapse that's coming in. They don't have enough time to finish the objective. Lord JK at least has the event horizon to cover the retreat, and now Latex is actually over the wall. The Echo is looking for the team fight here, as now the Silence teleported in as well, but the Slicing Maelstrom's absolutely massive from Tiny Fist, finds the entire backline there, but Pillam's still alive for now on the Ash. Pillam still able to hit, looking to take down Brute Souls next. It's going to be Outlaws Obsidian, the better team fighters. They may not have the better team fighting composition, but they press their buttons better, and now it's only Kama trying to make it happen for Braum lives. The Anivia is level 16, is able to take a lot of time here before she goes down. It's going to be Scion flashing forward, does find the knockup, but now Stealthy is back, and nobody is peeling for Pillam. The Ash is going to get taken down here by the Wukong. Meanwhile, Anivia still alive. Kama just barely going to get clipped by that Q from the Scion, and it looks like Kama will eventually fall, but successfully delayed the Baron. Oh, it's going to flash out of that Decimating Smash. Oh, I don't know about using the flash there.
Yeah. I mean, Luluar is not a very long cooldown, to be honest. Neither is the Scion ultimate. So, I mean, that's not going to be feeling good for Anivia having to use the flash there. So, I mean, they do get Pillam, right, as a consolation prize, but this game really is swinging over into the favor of Obsidian, right? And, of course, Dragon is up here. So.
Well, the Outlaws are not in position to go for this Dragon right now. So, I mean, going up to Hextech Soul Point would be great news for Braum Lives Matter, but they're hesitant to pull the trigger. You can see they are not willing to commit to it. They know that, you know, it's only a matter of time before the reset completes for the Outlaws, and they're not willing to risk going for the fast play on the Dragon, but are they going to be able to win the fight is the question. Crab is going to be secured by Latex.
They have the vision now. Is this going to be an attempted trade, Baron for Drag? Right. I think that if they see that they're kind of choked out here, why not rotate to Baron?
I mean, if they made that call decisively, I think there maybe is an angle, but they've waited too long at this point.
Watch
now
Aspect
Tiny
though.
Maxis on the front line. Yeah, the Kennen is looking for the flank angle. Kennen has flash and ultimate, so Tiny Fists could look for the angle here. The choke currently being held, but now BLM, they're forcing their way into the river. Oh, that's a nice stun from Kama onto Aspect, preventing that Decimating Smash from completing. Meanwhile, the minions have taken the mid-tier 2.
Latex is walking pretty
for
far,
BLM.
though.
Latex looking for the play onto Drakenrich, does have the Chrono Break to get back to the rest of the team, but the Cyclone now coming out from the Wukong, and there's the engage from Tiny Fist. The Kennen flashes in there, finds everybody with a slicing Maelstrom. Pillam is trying to make it happen. The Ash is trying to kite this one out. She flashes away to stay alive for now, but now there's nobody left for Aspect. The front line for the Scion gets taken down. It's a shutdown over to Tiny Fists, and it's going to be Braum Lives Matter with the 4-for-nothing team fight.
I mean, I think they're going to try to go for the end. I don't think they can because we do have JK up in 27 seconds. You still have Pillam up, right? Has the ultimate as well. So it looks like they're just going to push mid, put Stealthy onto Drag and try to get this one. But I think that was the biggest problem is Latex walked a little too far forward, tried to get onto the Tristana, but as you saw, Tristana pushes Q, pushes the bomb, and poof, your health disappears. You can't do anything against that. And that with a three item Tristana, it hurts a lot, right? So I think that Latex kind of threw the game right there, walked too far forward, wasn't able to get it, and because of that, they gotta keep their eyes on Tiny. That Slicing Maelstrom hurts so much.
Yeah, I mean, Latex thought he had the get out of jail free card. Ooh, close call there on the arrow, but Brute Souls. Oh, it's actually, Braum is very far from home right now. I don't know if Brute Soul is going to be able to get away from this one. Big ol' collapse coming through. Latex is going to find the Braum in the bush. and is going to look for the stun here. In just a moment, Brutos puts up the door, tries to jump away to a minion, but there's just no getting away from the full collapse of Obsidian. But yeah, in that last fight in the mid lane, Latex feeling like he had the get out of jail free card with the chrono break, but Stealthy and Tiny Fist were ready for the punish.
As long as you can watch where the ult goes, it's going to be really powerful. Oh, ultimate comes out. Ooh, great
Nice
block
wall.
actually from the wall.
Yeah. Some pings onto the Baron, as they're looking to set this one up right now for the side of Braum Lives. They are the ones with the vision control currently, so the Outlaws are moving in here to try to get some information.
The biggest thing is bot lane, they really can't TP in, because as soon as one tries to TP, the other one can just instantly cancel it. They will get top turret though, so I mean it makes sense saying, hey, we're just going to trade. We know you're scared of Baron, you can't do much against it, so we're just going to try to take this and have an advantage for this Baron fight that might come out pretty soon.
Well, 4K gold lead right now for the side of Braum Lives, and the fact that they're on soul point as well means they're not really under any pressure to actually go for the Baron. As Aspect, are you okay down here? He's probably fine, right? He's somewhat low, but there's nobody coming to punish the Scion right now.
Yeah, I think Aspect actually might die here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Unstoppable
Oh, he
On's
got
not going to get
canceled.
interrupted by the wall there again. He does find the Decimating Smash to interrupt the Storm, but the Scion's running out of HP. One more Icicle. The shield does come back up for Aspect. He has another Q here, but it gets interrupted again by Kama. Anivia just toying with the Scion here. Is going to be able to get the solo kill in the side lane. 5v4 now. Is this going to be the go button for BLM? They clear out that control where they're starting up the Nash. Kama does have teleport, but needs to go back to base first to replenish the health and mana bars.
Latex isn't even in the area either, so I think this is just Baron over. There's something they can do, and I think that
It should be.
This is going to be
Oh,
too
look at that.
big of a wall.
They're hesitating, though. They're peeling off the Baron. They're back onto it now. They're trying to burn it down, but that's enough time for Latex to get over here. The Echo is in the pit, and he steals the Baron! Oh, unbelievable. He just jumps in there and steals it away from BLM right underneath their noses.
And that's bot turret as well going over to Obsidian. That's the problem. That's the benefit of Echo. You can jump in, hit, and you don't even have to sacrifice yourself. You get out for free.
Heartbreaker there for BLM.
I think Braum had to step up a little farther forward, right? I would have suggested Braum doesn't have a shutdown. Why don't you try to sacrifice yourself against Latex, right? Ooh, actually, Latex might die here with the bomb, but it doesn't look like something do much.
Cone.
Yeah, I think that Braum probably wanted to step up a little further forward so that being able to stun the Echo. I mean, that's your best bet, is stunning the Echo, hitting the Echo with the ultimate, right? To stop the stun, because you're airborne.
Anything you
really
can do to keep him out of the pit, absolutely, but they just weren't able to. I mean, I feel like the person who would be best at it would probably be the Anivia, right? You have the Q for the instant stun and the wall as well to try to make that distance just a little bit too much for the Echo to get in, but you know, Kama was arriving late to the play, so couldn't really get into position to guard the back of the Baron pit. And just ended up being the 50-50. Latex gets it. And that could end up being a big turning point for the side of the Outlaws. We got less than a minute now on this next Hextech Dragon. And this is going to be a must-win fight for OTL.
And I'm also looking at this. This is Stridebreaker over to... Uh-oh. I mean...
Oh, Aspect does have the flash. It's probably going to have to use it here. Get out of this situation. Does flash over the wall, but Brute Souls is waiting there. The finals make him be committed as well, just to get Aspect to safety. That is not going to be back up for this dragon fight.
But he is alive. He's probably going to back and probably going to just walk up. Doesn't he have to use the TP, right? We do have TP on JK as well as Tiny. So there are flanking angles available because both of them are just going to be sitting top lane trying to get anything they can. But it looks like Tiny's just going to walk down, say, I don't need to use the flash. No need to do any fancy flank angles. So doesn't have to waste anything. Same as...
I mean, there's...
JK, ooh, but...
Not much vision right now. The Hawk Shot is going to provide so much value. Stealthy does try to go in with the Cyclone. He's trying to dive towards Pillow, but the Ash is relatively safe. Nobody could follow up on that Wukong engage. Now Tiny Fist goes in, looking for the Slicing Maelstrom. Pillow, though, is still alive. Now the Cannon is the one who's left out to dry. They're trickling launches And now BLM, they're down 2 members. It's a 5v3 on the map now for OTL. And there's no jungler either for Braum Live, so this will be the second Hextech Dragon. It should be for the undefeated squad.
I mean, that was actually really close there. I actually have to give it to Aspect to keeping all 3 of the others, Derek and Brute out of the fight. As you saw, he was actually just queuing them, couldn't actually get in. And because of that, of where Tiny kind of ulted, was able to walk everyone was able to walk out of the ultimate. Tiny had to try to focus someone, it just didn't focus the right person. Only really hit Lunar Paw with that stun, and still survived. Ooh, Kama actually does get stunned.
Oh, that's a nice arrow. Is going to connect onto Kama. And that's the passive of the Anivia can get burned as well. It feels like it's all falling apart right now for BLM. Drakenrich is going to be able to get 1 kill in the side lane. Sion a little bit light on armor, as we previously mentioned. So that is big. Drakenrich able to find that one.
Yeah, I think that it definitely hurts if you're BLM, right? You were ahead. Yeah, you got the Dragon Soul, but you were still ahead in gold. You definitely could have played that a little better, but I think Aspect was able to just keep them out of the pit, or out of the fight.
Call,
so it just went into a 2v5 or 2v4 in which it's hard to win a 2v4 unless you're massively ahead, and they just were not.
That's right. This really, I mean, I feel like at least the shot calling is probably pretty cohesive here for Braum Lives Matter, but it just keeps being these situations where, like you said, it was really great that you highlighted the fact that Aspect and Noxus was just holding the door there. It was preventing the follow-up from actually coming through. I'm sure that they wanted to follow up on their Wukong engage, but they just simply weren't able to.
Yeah, I think that was a really good play, and I mean, as we see here, we do have Dragon. Of course, it is Soul Point, but again, we have Dragon in 3 minutes here. Baron in a minute, actually, so these teams could see to go for this Baron. All TPs are actually up. Oh, Kama's kind of laid out here.
Arrow again! Oh,
man,
Pilum is just on point with these Ashe ultimates. It's going to be another kill for Latex. Facial Fisher does come out, but not able to find the knock up there. In comes Tiny Fist, pops the Slicing Maelstrom, but Echo is just going to be able to hop over the wall to safety.
Ooh, flash out.
Oh, a flash down from Brute Souls there as well.
That was a great ultimate, actually, from Lunar Paw, as you saw, being able to knock up the Kennen for long enough where he can't actually jump in. Already used the Hextech rocket belt, right, to try to get in, but wasn't able to. Is this a Fnatic Death Brush? I don't think anyone's walking up here, guys.
Well, the Baron is spawning in 20 seconds, so if they don't walk up, then they're not going to have any vision for the Purple Worm. And that clearly is the plan for the Outlaws. They're going to look to start this one up, I imagine, pretty much on spawn, assuming nobody comes in here to check for BLM. And it seems like that is going to be the angle.
Won't be up for this.
Oh, yeah, the Anivia does have teleport, though, so
there's no
pretty soon here, there's the blue trinket. Okay, so the side of BLM, they know, but the Baron is going down very, very quickly. They've already got it down to about 50%. Here is Tiny Fist off on the side. The Kennen is about to get the Slicing Maelstrom back. There he goes. He has found Pilum with it, but there's no follow-up again. And Lunar Paw also barely surviving. The Kennen's going to get taken down, and Drakenrich has been felled as well. Pilum's able to move back into the fight, help the rest of the team clean this one up. It's going to be the 4-for-1 team fight, plus the Baron. And now Outlaws Obsidian, they're looking for their 12th consecutive win.
I mean, in that fight, I got to give it, oh my gosh, did JK do so much damage right there. Was able to kill the Tristana. The Tristana was deleting it, but having Latex be able to ult, mitigate the damage from the bomb, and then JK just being able to ult the Tristana, poof, damage goes, or sorry, I should say more like pop goes the Tristana, and I mean, that just turned around the fight. Not having Tristana there, I mean, that's your main damage right now. The
Absolutely.
Kennen, as soon as Slicing Maelstrom goes out, Kennen just does no damage, and if you can't delete them in that couple seconds, right? They didn't even kill Lunar Paw. He was blinking health bars, but with the heal, with the ultimate, with the shields, there's just nothing you can do about it, and they're just able to get the Baron, get the kill, and now we're 4K gold up.
It does feel like BLM kind of had to go for something there, right? You don't want to just give over the Baron for free. But again, the setup was just too good for the Outlaws. I mean, they had all the vision that they needed. They saw the cannon coming. They knew where everybody was on the enemy team. And again, they were able to disrupt this team fight composition that BLM are piloting, and were able to work it out so well in their favor for the side of the Outlaws. Now the Dragon is alive once again. As 5, we can see BLM moving in here. They still have the option of the Hextech Soul as a possible win condition, but the Event Horizon is amazing from JK. Once again, chunks Kama down so low before the fight even starts, and BLM are just going to have to give this one up. Going to be 3 Hextech Dragons now for the side of the Outlaws. It's still got Baron on for 1 more minute.
Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be feeling pretty bad if you are BLM, right? You got poked out so quickly. Again, like I said in the beginning of draft, this is definitely a poke comp, right? They're just gonna just try to poke you out, try to just take as much damage as they can right at the beginning. And as you saw that that's what they do. They poked out Kama, knowing that hey, if one's out, then they're not gonna be able to do much. And here's another poke right there.
Oh, the Kama trapped in the cage. Yeah, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to connect as well. At least Braum is there, but Echo jumps into the backline. Latex gets out the Anivia passive, uses the Chrono Break to return to the position, and the cooldowns are so low for the Veigar. Kama barely going to survive that combo from Lord JK, but the inhibitor will not be so lucky, and now the full rotation up into the top lane. It's going to be 2 inhibitors. Surely it will go down here for Outlaws Obsidian. Another Event Rising going to land in the cannon just gets deleted. He died with Flash and Ult both up. And now the Unstoppable Onslaught, true to its name, as Asmat goes underneath the Nexus turrets. And look at Pilum just firing out so many arrows there from the side. It's going to be 1 kill back. Stealthy at least able to take down the Lulu. But it's a consolation prize and not the one that BLM were hoping for. 12-0 now for Outlaws Obsidian. Another win in the books.
Yeah, look like it looked like Braum was gonna get the win, right? They were really strong, really had those perfect engages with the Kennen, but they just were not able to capitalize it, and that's it.
Indeed. Indeed, launches. It was there were definitely, I think, some thin margins in this game again. You know, you see the 2-0 score line, and that gives you the impression that it was a pretty one-sided series. And I do feel like Outlaws Obsidian were the more cohesive team, we're the stronger team, definitely on the day. But props to BLM at least for making them work for it. We know that this Outlaws squad is so formidable. They're undefeated for a reason here in the Sentinel League. So at least I think for BLM, they can take some solace knowing that they didn't just fall over, right? They made their opponents work for it in this one for sure.
Yeah, again, great showing from BLM. It is a 2-0. It definitely doesn't feel good, right? But at number one, it was against the undefeated team, so I mean, they're a strong team. They might be the only team actually undefeated in all 4 leagues. I'll have to get production to let
I
me
know
know on
there's
that
one
one.
undefeated squad in Arbiter for sure. There might be one in Crusader as well. I'm not sure about that, but I know that everybody has lost at least once in Warden. So very few undefeated teams. That is
I
definitely
think
true.
every team at least has maybe lost a game. Maybe not the series, but at least a game. But here,
Mm.
Obsidian still hasn't lost a single game yet.
Yeah,
So
true.
it, but how they play, being able to really claw back from those huge gold deficits, right? I mean that it definitely didn't feel good going that low. But they said, but having that Baron Steel, having the drag stacking, even after they had or BLM had Soul Point, is knowing, hey, we can come back as long as Kennen doesn't hit our Veigar, doesn't hit our Ash, we are able to do so much damage, and the end of this game showed it.
Yeah, they just did such a great job on the side of Obsidian in disrupting those team fights, right? And making sure that the divers didn't get the follow-up that they needed to actually secure those kills. It was definitely really well played by them. I wanted to mention as well the fact that we even had Latex in the client chat at the top of the day saying that he's actually feeling a little bit under the weather this evening. So some extra credit I think deserves to go over there for such a strong performance despite maybe not feeling 100%. And of course, the Lord JK as well, the new player on this roster. Felt like he slotted in pretty effortlessly. Most damage in the game here in game number 2,
Yeah.
40.5 thousand on the Veigar.
Yeah, I mean, a great game. Game 2, game 1. BLM had the early lead, but it wasn't. But they weren't able to capitalize. But game two, I mean, that was a pretty good game to watch. I think all the viewers probably pretty happy to have that as the game two. I know there's no game three, right? You don't get to see another slaughter fest, but it was entertaining nonetheless.
Okay, we did just get some update on your query from earlier launches. New Origin Phoenix in the Crusader League. That's Storm's squad. My co-host on the Top Hat Lounge podcast has also not dropped a single game yet. So those are the only two teams that have a flawless game record. New Origin Phoenix and right here Outlaws Obsidian. Only teams in the whole of LXC that can boast that for this season. But
Yeah.
last order of business, I think, for this game launches is, of course, we have to award another POG. Where are you leaning this time around?
Ooh, I think this one was definitely harder, right? I
Yeah,
I could say giving it to I could see giving it to Aspect back, right, with those Scion
I
plays, but
think there's an
it is
argument. Yeah.
it is Scion, right? It's hard to give it to a Scion because it's Scion. His ability to kind of keep up, but I think I got to give it to Lunar. It might have not looked like he did much, but those
Mm.
shields, those ultimates, being able to keep out the Kennen, right, on most of those fights, surviving on blinking health bars so many times and still providing the support for his teammates. I think Lunar was able to provide a lot, and again, for me, I gotta give him the POG.
Yeah, I could always appreciate a support vote. You know, they're often underappreciated, right? Our supports. So I don't mind that vote one bit. You know, I do think there's definitely an argument for Aspect. You know, I think you pointed out a couple of those team fights played a really critical role, right, in preventing the rest of Braum Lives Matter from following up on those engages. Personally, I would lean towards the mid lane vote this time around for JK. You know, did top out the damage chart, so maybe I'm just a boom boom damage voter, but I felt like the Veigar was really critical as well, particularly in those objective. I don't even really want to say fights because I felt like the Veigar was ending the fights before they even started, right towards the end there. So
Yeah, I
definitely
think
a great performance all around. Go ahead.
yeah, I think that in those fights, I think everyone on the team had brought something to the table. They all had something that they were doing right. You had
Mhm.
the Ash, as long as Pilum didn't die, was able to get those arrows in, kind
Yeah.
of
Oh, the Ash
melt the
arrows
Braum,
were
melt the
amazing this game too. Yeah.
yeah, melt the cannon when after he died. Again, you had top lane, of course. You had Aspect being able to keep people out of the fight. You had Latex. I mean, yeah, he had a couple troll right, especially that jump in onto that Tristana, but having the Baron steal right, I think that definitely
Yeah.
did swing the game
Was big.
into OLM's favor there.
Juan, any other final thoughts? Any closing remarks you have for the stream tonight?
Nah, I think I'm pretty good. I hope everyone enjoyed, and hopefully everyone joins us for tomorrow for the Crusaders League. I will see you
Yeah.
guys all there. So
Yeah, you're gonna be trying out the play-by-play tomorrow night, right? Launches.
yeah, play by play for them the last 2 weeks. Go for number 3.
All right. Well, that'll be very exciting, guys. You definitely don't want to miss that one. Crusader Week 6, of course, tomorrow night, same time, same place. From us here from the Sentinel League, that is going to do it for tonight. So, for myself from Launchers here, from Soul, the entire team at LXC, thank you, everybody, very much for watching. Have a great rest of your night.
Good night.